Hey guys, this is Ken. This is part 2 of my 5MeoDMT experience. If you watch the first one, I give you the basics of what it is, how to do it, what happens, and my takeaway experience from the whole thing. So this is number 2 because this happened on the same day after I was with 7 people in this beautiful setting in the forest. This beautiful man who owns this 600-acre property invited me to come along, and he had hired this guy by the name of Tapp, who is I consider a shaman, a medicine man, a wisdom keeper who's done a boatload of 5-MeoDMT. He's done humongous amounts of mushrooms and as well ayahuasca, iboga. It just goes on. So anyway, he was a facilitator, and we had done round number 1 with 7 people, and I was the second person in on that round. And I did approximately, I think it was around 12 to 14 milligrams of a pure synthetic 5-MeoDMT, which is like DMT but on steroids because it is so much more potent and powerful. So, and DMT, 5-MeoDMT is basically the same secretion as come from the Columbia River toad that's found, in South America. And tribes and people have been doing this forever as a gateway into another dimensions and the gateway to the afterlife. So, my second experience was, I said, Scotty, beam me up. And that's what I said to Adam, our medicine man. And he bumped up my dose. I found out after to about 24, 25 milligrams. So double, basically, what I had before. So I laid on the mat under this kind of a market tent. And I was surrounded by 7 people. I think there was 8 or 9. Actually, there might have been 9 people. Sorry. But that doesn't matter. So I was like the campfire in the middle. And everyone's surrounded, and this is what you do because the person goes through their experience and everybody's in silence. Everybody's just either meditating, observing, and enjoying the process of each and every single one of us having this beautiful, bizarre, crazy ass experience of leaving this physical plane and then trying to re-assimilate coming back to it. So I was on my elbows and I took a heroic inhale and I put my head back, and I think it was just at that moment everything just started unwinding and coming apart and spinning. I was in this vortex of, again, such vivid, beautiful, crazy colors, but the feeling it was of just, again, coming apart. Everything being lifted out, everything being lifted up. And I was actually like a pure white, just beam of energy. I just felt, I'm just, trying to put the visual in that. Again, you can't really explain it, but I'm going to do my best. So I was just this energy point. And I just kind of breathed into, was totally absorbed, dissolved into this field, the quantum field. That was it, just the quantum field. I just was pulled into it. It came into me. It was like all of a sudden I was it. I was it. And because what happens is when you take that kind of dose, you don't have a choice to not go for the ride. You're in it. No matter what, you're just gone. Smaller doses, there's kind of like a fork in the road. You can fight it, or you just go completely with it. And what I experienced on my first dose that I did, I felt like the cat being pulled out of a tree, hanging on for dear life. My ego was hanging on. It did not want to go. And the more that I hung on, the more difficult it was. And And to the point that I guess consciously had just decided to let go because it was futile and I wanted that experience. So this is a process that, you know, whenever you're doing ayahuasca, even mushrooms, and, you know, it's other forms of psilocybin and DMT and 5-MeoDMT, you get to that point. Do you hang on? Do you fight it? Do you let it go? Can you win? In most cases, not. And you don't want to win, because you want to let go. This is what we're doing it for. We want to let go of all of our shit, you know, because it's like having bags. You're carrying these bags, but the door is only this big. You can't get through the door carrying your bags. So you got to let those bags go. And this is the process. And this is what ancient wisdom traditions have all taught us. It's through either meditation, breath work, antigens, all sorts of different things that are used as stepping stones to get through that door to the other side, to lift the veil, to part the veil, to go through and become it. And that's the only way that I can explain that part. But as I was laying there, my physical body was, but I was gone into this other dimension. The feeling, I'm trying to explain this, but the letting go and breathing into the expansiveness of what that was, of it, how big it is unfathomable. And I was trying to just, how big is this? And I just had to, you know, I was like, how big is this? How big is this? And I just had to let it go. And I think my whole body just, you know, what I'm told anyway, I just kind of lifted and my arms went back and I just dove into it. I just totally just let all of it go, and fuck did I go for this ride. I've never experienced anything so beautiful in my life. I can't explain, but it's just how big this is that we are a part of. You know, like, to get there. We're all going to get there. When we leave this meat suit, this is where we go. I'm so convinced of it, because it's not the first time that I've been there, but it's the first time I've been that deep, and I've seen so much of it. And I was breathing and I was surrendering, just surrendering into the energy was like love. I don't know, we have so many limited options to use in the English language to explain this feeling, but it's like this centralized part just goes out and it just accepts all of what's coming in, and what's out there is such high intensity beyond anything I can imagine, because I could only let so much of it in before I felt as though I would dissolve and, you know, evaporate and never come back. It was like, and it was just fucking crazy. And then I started coming out of it, and I was like, again, you go down this hole, and then you come up, and you start, I guess it starts wearing off. And I just remember feeling Adam, because I pulled him down onto me to just give him as much love as I could physically give him, in gratitude for making that happen, for just making putting the the place and everything together for me to have that experience. Whew. And this was yesterday, and I am still fucking high as a kite on it. I did a meditation this morning. I went for a walk with my dog. It was still pitch black out. I had this deep sleep. And all night I was and anytime I was kind of waking up a little bit, I was right back thinking about my experience, because it was still dripping into me. And it's always going to do that. Never forget. It's like when we take these things, these moments and experiences, you know, it might shift us a little 2 degrees to the right or 2 degrees to the left or up or down or whatever, it doesn't matter, from which path we were going. And it doesn't seem like much now, but if it's like a ship in the ocean, it's 2 degrees over a course of a mile, might be a few feet, but over 10,000 miles, it's halfway around the world, the distance of where you are and where you were going to go. So this is how all of this works. It just, you know, pool ball, think, puts you off in a little direction, and this old life that you had and your beliefs and your thought processes and your all this shit that was built around you, that you built around yourself, that was indoctrinated into you, force fed into you, starts peeling away. And the more you know that you don't know. So back to the story about coming out of this is the best part, I think. I don't know, there's just something about it that it's you're being rebooted, you know? And by the way, if this is helpful to anybody that you know that wants to expand their consciousness, please share this, really please. And please like it as well too, and subscribe. Because I really want to talk about this stuff, you know? The expansion of consciousness, creating more love in your life, and to let go. It's all about fucking letting go. And this is what it teaches us. When you let go of trying to hang on, your ego's fighting to hang on. And when you can just pop it away and just get away from it and just let it fall off to the side, and you just become pure you, pure it, pure everything, without ego. Man. So coming out of it is that you're rebooting and you're assimilating. And this time, because I had just done my first dose an hour ago, and I was back to this physical plane. I knew that this time around I wasn't going to let anything piece together. I was just going to be there as is and not try and figure anything out. I highly recommend this when you do this. Don't try and figure anything out. Just lay there and just soak in the freshness, the realness. I swear to God, it was like being born again. This might be the feeling that we can't remember. You know, if we could remember being born, this coming into this life, into this existence. And I think that's what I went through. I went through the newness of opening my eyes and looking around, and everything was so vivid, so fresh, so real, like the trees that were hanging over me. I was them, it was me, it was everything. We were all, there's no separation. There's no separation whatsoever. Fucking none. Between anything and anybody. Every politician in this world, every decision maker, the evil empire need to do this. But this is what they want to stay away from. Us to stay away from. They don't want us to see this. They don't want us to wake up and realize it's so fucking big. It is so big. It's so crazy. And now it's raining where I am. It's beautiful. You know, as Bob Marley says, some people feel the rain, others just get wet. You know, it's about waking up. It's about doing things, trying things, and that are going to just shift you a little bit now. That makes tremendous changes in your life as you go along. You know, I've been doing all sorts of stuff. As a kid, I was doing LSD. I was very young. I don't even want to tell you. Mind expanding, but I didn't know what I was looking for back then. I had no idea. I just wanted to get high and freak out and look at cool stuff and watch leaves turn into pumpkins and little fairies and stuff. But man, I tell you, it's like the isness of our existence should be so cherished. Just breathe in every moment. Every moment. So anyway, I'm going to talk more about it. Talk about my mushroom experience, because I had one of those big ones, a hero's dose, more or less. But this is all about expanding consciousness. So thanks for watching. Put some links in the description where you can find certain things of interest. And like, subscribe, and please share with anybody who wants to wake up, anybody who's interested in finding out the afterlife, because we're not going anywhere. We just leave our meat suit and we're eternal. So never be scared. Don't ever be scared about death. I love you. Peace out.